Fox Business Alert tomorrow morning. Wall Street gets one of the most important reads yet on whether inflation is really loosening its grip on American consumers and businesses. That would be the July Consumer Price Index that we mentioned at the top of the show. And with the labor market showing new signs of weakness, this number tomorrow could go a long way toward determining what the Federal Reserve does next with interest rates. So before the number hits, we're going straight to one of Wall Street and the planet's most closely watched economic forecasters, Goldman Sachs' chief economist and head of global investment research, Jan Hatzius, joining me now in a Fox Business exclusive. When I say up to the minute, I want your up to the minute expectation for inflation on the consumer level tomorrow. What do you think is going to happen?
We think it's going to be similar to the more benign reading that we had a month ago. We think that the first 5 months of the year were generally worse than expected on inflation, but that June marked the beginning of a softer trend. So we think 0.05% on the headline, 0.19 on the core index, both of which are in line with or a little bit lower than the consensus. And it seems to me that there were a lot of temporary drivers of higher inflation in 2026 to date. There was still some tariff pass-through. There was, of course, the oil price impact, especially on the headline index, but to some degree on the core. And I think there was a World Cup effect to some degree. And those things are now coming off. So I think the numbers are going to look better.
Okay, the tariff pass-through. Is that over with? Are we just at the vapor trail of the end?
I think it's mostly behind us in terms of the month-to-month changes. In terms of the year-to-year changes, it's still worth about 0.7 percentage points in terms of the year-on-year rate. So if you take core PCE inflation, that's the number that's most important to the Fed, that's running at 3.3%, but about 0.7 of that is tariff pass-through. And as we go through the next 6 to 12 months, we think that trends towards zero.
I'm glad you just brought up PCE as the Fed's favorite inflation indicator, because Kevin Warsh, the new Fed chair, just recently indicated that that may change. That may not be the preferred. And Bill Dudley, the former head of the New York Federal Reserve, just put out an op-ed in Bloomberg and said that that hurts his credibility. Do you agree? Do you still think that PCE, core PCE, is the most important inflation indicator that the Fed should watch?
I think it's probably still what they're going to settle on as the long-term measure of their success. I didn't take Kevin Warsh's answer on that question in the press conference as saying that they're going to switch from PCE to something else. Admittedly, it left it a little bit open, so I think it needs clarification. But my expectation would be that even as we go into 2027 and beyond, PCE is still what they're most focused on.
One thing Kevin Warsh did not leave open to interpretation was where he sees the target inflation level. And here's what he said when he just had last week's news conference. And listen, and I'll have you react.
Let me reiterate. There is no soft inflation target. There is no soft implicit target, not on this committee's watch. There's only a target, and it's 2%.
Do you think it's 2%? Do you feel it should be a little bit higher and a more modern number?
No, I think 2% is the right number. I think it's important to say 2% rather than 2.0% because that gives a false sense of precision. You're not going to be able to hit 2.0%, but you will want to be in the neighborhood of 2% and averaging something like 2% over the long term. That said, if you're away by a few tenths, I don't think that's dramatic. We were averaging 1.6 or 1.7 for basically 20 years prior to the pandemic, and I don't think that that was a real problem. If it was a little bit higher, it wouldn't be a real problem, but it certainly isn't in the threes.
But his action and what he said seemed pretty firm at 2%. And let's just say, considering we're at 2.5, possibly tomorrow 2.4%, at least via CPI, that that means that he's going to, at some point, hike interest rates sometime in the next couple of months to get it down to 2%.
Well, he might, although our expectation is that because there are some natural forces for inflation to come down, and a lot of the longer-term drivers like rent inflation and wage inflation are actually still trending down, that rate hikes are not necessary. There could be a hike, but in our forecast, we don't have a hike in the remainder of the year.
Obviously, last Friday, let's bring up the labor picture here. We got a minus 23,000 jobs report for the month of July when the expectation was a build of 80,000. That led you to rejigger, or at least announce that you felt that the basic job creation might go to just 5,000 jobs per month. That seems tiny, whereas before you were at 75,000. Why such a big change?
This is really an estimate of what the current underlying trend of job creation is.
Okay, explain what that means, because
we take an average of the payroll numbers over the last 3 months, and we take an average of the household employment numbers from the separate household survey of employment over the last 9 months. It's a longer average because it's a more noisy survey. And then we apply weights to those two averages to get that number. And a drop by almost 70,000 from 1 month to the next is quite a lot.
Yeah.
It's a pretty sharp slowdown, but this is really a calculation that we've been doing for quite a while, for over a year, to basically extract the underlying trend from what are pretty noisy month-to-month numbers.
Okay, so if somebody comes up to you, let's say you're out and about in the wild,
Yeah.
and you're talking to somebody who is not an economist and not a person who is very aware of all the numbers we've just thrown at people, and they simply say, Jan, how is the U.S. economy doing? What's your answer?
I think it's doing pretty well. I think it's doing pretty well. The GDP is growing at a 2% to maybe 2.5% rate. That would be my expectation for the next year or two, which is broadly in line with the underlying trend of that we can sustain in the long term. And the unemployment rate is low and it's pretty stable. The problem has been inflation. And really for the last 5 years, we've had excessive inflation. That problem is still there.
Yeah.
But my expectation would be that as we go into 2027, it's going to look somewhat better. It's been a process. It's taken longer than we thought for a variety of reasons, for sure. But I think we're still on a path that gets us to inflation that's closer to where we want to be.
Yeah, so your confidence level, I'm hearing, is pretty solid that it's a downtrend, at least for inflation. Thank you.
It's pretty solid, yes.
Good to see you. Thank you very much. Are you going to be sitting there at 8:30 a.m. Eastern waiting for that
Every time.
That CPI
Yes.
number tomorrow morning?
Yes.
Great.
It never ceases to be exciting.
Well, thanks for coming here first. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Liz.
it. Jan Hatzius of Goldman Sachs. The housing market is one part of the economy that still continues to struggle. In fact, mortgage rates are moving in the wrong direction. Celebrity real estate agent Josh Flagg is up next here in studio with a look at what his listings are telling him about the state of the real estate market. It's a Fox Business exclusive. Josh is coming up in just a sec.